The biggest reason that we came up with this is because, one, we have been sales reps and are actually currently sales reps, the ones making the cold calls every single day. So we know what it's like to feel the burnout.
Well, I think a reality check too is to look at LinkedIn and see how many sales professionals profiles have a year and a half with company A, 2 years with company B, 6 months with company C. If your salespeople don't know why they're doing what they're doing and don't truly believe they've got a clear path to achieve why they got into this, they're not going to do it. What is going on, guys? We are Caleb and Mary Beth Lutz from Let's Grow Sales and Marketing. Today's conversation is for all of our sales leaders, and it is especially for those of you who have a team that is stacked and you know it, and you've produced before, you've won before, but for whatever reason, the juice isn't flowing right now. We're going to talk about motive today, and just some of how you can get that vigor and that life breathe back into your sales team where they can start performing again. So this is way more conversation style. I know you had a few thoughts to address before we dive right into the map, but
and the whole reason that motive, by the way, it's what would we call that? An acronym? That's the word, right? So
it's our motivation acronym.
Motivation acronym. So motive, so you can remember. But the biggest reason that we came up with this is because, one, we have been sales reps and are actually currently sales reps, the ones making the cold calls every single day. So we know what it's like to feel the burnout. And we've been a part of companies where there's been massive turnover happening all the time, watching peers around us with inconsistent pipeline activity. And just, I mean, even for me at times, I remember being like, why the heck did I get in sales? You know, like just that lack of vision and clear purpose as to what I was doing. And so I was really grateful. Even some of the things we're going to talk about today, some of the really good companies I was a part of, they actually use these to help too. So,
Well, I think a reality check too is to look at LinkedIn and see how many sales professionals profiles have a year and a half with company A, 2 years with company B, 6 months with company C, 9 months with company D, and there are these people who look like they're incredible, they sound incredible, they've got all the reasons to do it, but for whatever reason, when push comes to shove, they're hopping from thing to thing, and it's typically because they don't see that clear path to getting what they want. This is really diving into the first part of our acronym. So the first letter in motive is going to be your mission. This is your mission alignment. If your salespeople don't know why they're doing what they're doing and don't truly believe they've got a clear path to achieve why they got into this, they're not going to do it. A lot of times I like saying it like this, and a very good friend of mine who I still work with says, like, when you're 5 years old, you don't wake up one day and just be like, I want to be a salesperson. Like, it's not that dream career like an astronaut. But so many people do come and are attracted to this industry because of what it can create for their family.
Sure.
Right? And so if they are in your arena, and if they do see the support and they are constantly reminded why they got into it, and it's not just them, but their sales leader and the people around them can understand and get behind and ask them questions about their why, that can shift a dynamic so quickly in people. So like a real conversation that I'll have with salespeople that are around me, and I still intentionally, even though everything we do is 1099, we've only earned commissions for me, over a couple of years, for Mary Beth, within the last year. But we've been professional salespeople, everything we do on it, again, for the last years. I still go into an office because I know what it takes to move myself forward. And I have people that I ask, how are the boys' baseball games this weekend? Right? Because that's their why. I've got other people that I'm like, how is volleyball coaching? How is this and that? Because again, salespeople are productive people. They want to perform. They want to achieve. And so they're going to have areas that they're fueling themselves into outside of it. That is usually their why. So the quicker you can get to know those, keep them in front of them, talk about them actively, the more that really helps. One simple action that we recommend is in your sales huddles that you're doing, you don't just have to talk about metrics. Have a why time. I'm trying to think of the exact verbiage we put on that before, but have people go around and say, hey, I did this extra and here's why. So that can be a huge driver for you guys.
I even remember one of my managers told me, hey, do you have a financial goal that you're wanting to hit? And we've done so much goal setting. The more that you put a goal in front of you, the more, I mean, you're going to hit it more often than not versus if you didn't put it in front of you. And one of my colleagues, he had on his desk a sticky note on his computer and it said mattress. And he and his wife had been talking about getting a very nice mattress because the one they had was just really old. And he knew exactly how much more in his commission check he wanted to make to get that mattress. So that was his motivation. So even going around, it can be a mattress for somebody. It could be they're trying to pay off debt, whatever it is, but having that why is super crucial. So you did great. I was thinking through a lot of those kind of things.
And I have other thoughts, but I think I'm going to come back to it on our I coming up.
We did say this would be podcast style, so we're just going back and forth here too.
Conversation here. But after M comes O, which is...
the second part, which is ownership culture, which if there is anyone who is the ownership queen, it is your girl right here.
Oh.
And well, you definitely take ownership too. It's not like that. But I'm
not the queen. She the queen.
True that. I learned early on in my career, thankfully, to take ownership of whatever I did. The sooner I took ownership of where I was, the more I could get out of it. That's just what I've learned over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And what's really helpful is to have some sort of real control over your own pipeline and metrics. So I've worked with so many reps on helping create an actual unique dashboard for them of the metrics that they are looking for. Yes. So the really good thing about that is it kind of is an excuse remover. If someone's saying, oh man, like I'm mad that sales aren't closing, it's like, hey, let's pull up numbers. Like what can we get an agreement on that's actually going to help you move the needle forward? You guys getting an agreement, and then having that just like different leadership touch points with them and that person, with you and that person on that transparent personal KPI dashboard. I found for me, it just, if I could keep my eyes on that throughout the day and knew exactly what I was doing, I was taking ownership of that. And here's what I'll tell you, like, these are all great things to implement. Some people, no matter what you do, they just won't take ownership. And I get it. We could do a whole other video on leadership and how frustrating that is. Yeah. But for the reps who actually want to move on, this is very crucial to give them something to actually achieve and attain, just like what I was doing. So ownership culture is massive. So
I am going to add on to it
a
little bit.
I can see him like chomping at the bit. Like, are you done?
No. We're gonna go back and forth on several of these, but the opposite of an ownership culture is going to be people competing for gold in the victim Olympics, right? It's this happened to me. You won't believe what somebody said today.
We need to make that a bumper sticker. People compete for gold in the victim Olympics.
More like don't compete for gold.
Yeah, exactly what I mean. Like, don't do that. Yeah.
So the way you avoid this is to talk about ownership, right? It's to talk about like, hey, everybody has stuff that hits the fan. Everybody has things that don't go their way. Yeah. So what are we going to do about it? There's that formula, E plus R equals O. It's not the event, it's your response that can change the outcome. If you're going to decide where you're putting those outcomes, you don't get to control all the events. You don't just stay a victim to it. You control your response to it. And again, we can talk a long time about ownership. Yeah. Great book that your team can read that I read with a sales team and accountability group I'm a part of, Extreme Ownership. Unbelievable lessons from Navy SEAL leaders.
That's by that Jocko, right?
Mm-hmm.
Jocko? Okay.
Jocko Willink.
Yeah, that's right.
We can always link to that resource, but incredible book about applying ownership in every area to your business. All of that said, any last thoughts there?
I was just laughing because you said the equation. I literally was like, oh shoot, I don't know what that means.
That's in a couple different books I've read.
I
believe
good.
Burn Your Goals is the first one, which if you've talked with
also
me,
a good one.
One of my favorite books of all time.
No, I think we should be transparent about the next one.
So you've had the M, 3. You've had the O, and get ready for the third one, which is the T, your transparent feedback.
Yep.
Again, if you guys know me well, you'll know I'm about real talk. I don't like scripts. I don't like things that are pre-scheduled ahead of time. My lady knows this.
I know this
very well.
Very well.
So when we're talking about transparent feedback in terms of motivation, this goes two ways. This is inviting your salespeople saying, hey, tell me what you need to perform well today.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let me know what's going on so we can get ahead of this with you. So that's from the leader's end inviting that. That's also your sales reps feeling safe when they come to you with, man, I keep hitting this. And this can be super talented young hustlers. They have all the motivation in the world. But if they keep getting stuck, like, let's be real, you're hitting objection after objection after objection if you're doing your part and calling people. So it's listening to what they're going up against and helping them get over that. And this is not done with once a quarter reviews. If you're in a company that has a once a quarter review, that is awesome. That does help.
Yeah.
But what happens on the daily?
Yep.
What happens if someone is hitting the same thing for a week and a month? All of a sudden that becomes a ceiling in their mind that, oh, if someone is vendor routed, I can never get past that. When in reality, one more unquestion will unlock the gap.
Yeah.
So if you can be on the daily or at least on the weekly with your newer reps, with those who are new to your job, to your industry, and figuring out, hey, what are you hearing? Like, what do we need to get through here? That constant flow of communication back and forth is going to have a massive breakthrough. If you don't have time for that, you might need smaller teams, or you might need people to come in and be able to sit with your reps and help guide them along there.
And in terms of the timing too, I don't, sometimes we think it has to be this massive thing, like 30 seconds to go over to a rep and be like, hey, I saw you did great on that call, or encouragement for sure, or like, hey, I can tell you've been hitting this thing, like, how's it going? Like, even that small touch point, and even that alone, and then being like, hey, let's set up a time later this week to do this. It at least lets the person on your team know, like, wow, my coach actually, or my manager actually cares about me as a person and wants me to grow.
And to help me as a coach.
And to help me, exactly.
Even them being able to flag, hey, can we talk about this call later?
Yes.
And you can book it for a week out, but still they know, like, okay, I'm going to figure that out.
Exactly.
If a salesperson knows they can figure those pieces out, again, their motivation, their like belief that they can actually accomplish what they set out to do will skyrocket.
Yeah, 100%. And
trying to not over talk in this, but there are so many pieces here.
No, it's great. And, obviously this is for the leaders in the sales world, and we would love to hear from you. What is one area of growth for your team that has been a little frustrating or very frustrating lately?
I see you implementing what we're talking about.
Yes. See what I'm doing there? I'm inviting the feedback. So please comment below
Truly
on that area that has just been tough. We will go ahead and answer back. You might even see another video specifically on the topic you're bringing up too. So that could be really good for you as well.
Absolutely.
All right. So number 4, we are on to the letter I, which is about, I like that it's kind of two things, incentive, innovation. So we kind of doubled the I.
Can I triple I it? This is your inspiration too. You inspire with those incentive innovations. It really is important.
Here, fist bump. That was really good. That was really, really good.
The IQ.
So if anyone is the person who loves the fun contests and the promotions and everything else, let's be real. If you're in sales,
yes,
you got to have something that you're going after. And obviously, yes, going after your big commission check, 100%. But sometimes adding in flavor and sprinkle of fun can be a massive difference. And it's shocking to me sometimes how many places and teams don't think to do this, or they only do one type. So we're going to cover just a few options that can make it really fun and spice things up for your team.
Something I noticed very well, if the only prize for a contest going on is a ginormous prize for the first place winner, you're probably going to have your top 2 to 3 reps cutthroat going at it, and everyone else on your sales team is like, only first? Like, yeah, there's no way these people are better than me. Very different if you've got a tiered system and you do have incentives for everyone involved, or even more, possibly a raffle system involved. Or again, there's a big prize, but then there's multiple others where people are like, well, I might not be the first one, but I bet I could get second, third, or fourth. And again, this is not about participation trophies. In no way do I believe in that. But it's very much about the meeting people where they are and giving them a reason to just push that extra bit. imagine if it's not just your 20 percenters producing, but if 80% of your sales team is saying, you know what, it's worth it to do a few more dials. That can completely change the result for your team.
And in the midst of that too, like imagine mixing in recognition for the top 10. You'd be shocked how far people will go just to be on a recognition board.
Or recognition for their progression.
For the progression.
Recognition from where they were to where they're going. And you've got the entire team cheering for them. That's such a different culture than one prize fits one, who is the king, and everybody else is like, can't be him, so I better go somewhere else where I can get rewarded for what I'm doing.
Yeah, and I even know that we've done things like gamified challenges, so even coming up with different things for Monopoly or Wheel of Fortune, and you get a letter based on, it could be an activity goal or something like whatever it is. It can be so silly seeming, but again, people love games. And another thing that a lot of people don't think about either is even about clear career pathways. So getting with your rep, and if they come to you and they're like, hey, I really want to move up in this company. Well, if you are able to let your manager know about that and like, hey, I have this person here, like, is there a way that we can be in agreement for them about different maybe metrics or KPIs that they can be hitting on a consistent basis that can really help them to progress. And they can have that on their desk and remember like, oh, it's a frustrating day, but I know what I'm going for with that position, you know? So
I do want to speak to one other person who may be watching this, and that's the solopreneur. So there are times where you have to find motivations or incentives for yourself. So for 2026, I have set up a contract for myself and all the work that I'm doing, all the goals that I'm going for. But every 3 months, I've got a checkpoint for myself. And if I either do the work or if I get the results, I have a reward that means something to me, that I want, that I've been delaying on. And I'm like, yes, I am going to get that. I also have a risk. So for your solopreneurs, I recommend a risk or a reward. For me, that's eating vegan for a month if I don't follow through on whatever that is, which for me, not willing to do that. So I know I'm going to do the work. So and there's so much more we can talk through with goal setting, but an essential part of it is finding something that will motivate you. And even if the rest of your company is doing something, or even if you don't have anyone else holding you accountable, you can set up incentives that inspire yourself. So,
and we've covered a few. Feel free to go to Google, ChatGPT as we always call it, and just look up fun incentives for salespeople, and you can come up with a whole bunch. But
if you're a sales team lead, don't set up a risk or a punishment for people who aren't performing. That's not going to go well.
Yeah, it usually doesn't. So.
Okay, I'm going to cover one more, and this is the V, or number 5 in our motive map here.
Oh, the V and the 5, the Roman numeral.
I didn't think of that.
Thing.
I actually didn't think of that at all. I'm a
never
numbers guy.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
But the V or the 5, this is your vitality and this is your well-being. And it's something that so many sales leaders do not think about. A lot of other industries do. In my opinion, rest is highly productive for your people. So encouraging them to find ways after hours to recharge. Encouraging a buddy system where people can get workouts in together, go on runs on their lunches, go on walks together, eat healthily together. Like there's so many other factors that are affecting how productive they are there. And if you can encourage people and even have people share tips on how they're growing, how they're winning, and just make that a culture of people who are not just healthy in their sales pipeline, but in life, every area will impact that. And so it's something to not overlook. It's something that if a salesperson sees, I'm not only crushing my goals, but I'm also crushing life. I'm getting better at life here. That is someone who will be loyal and who will stay on that much longer.
I feel like there's so much we could dive into here, but I feel like in sales too, there's such a stereotypical culture of, there's even memes about it. You know, you look it up and there's giant mugs of coffee and there's someone clinging to it. And it's his like salesperson's fuel, or there's a bunch of crushed energy drinks on the desk.
Or the cigarette breaks.
Or the cigarette breaks.
This and that, or the all-nighters.
Yeah.
It's like you can encourage that is in an unhealthy way, or you can encourage, again, just those healthful hacks that help move forward.
And you're good. One thing too, like it might be simple, but maybe offer a wellness stipend for your teams, like $25 to $30 a month. which isn't super crazy, but like for a gym membership or something, or just something like that just encourages people to do it. And what we found over and over again, taking care of your body and yourself only helps fuel more career growth. And let's be honest, like sales can be stressful, so it is extremely important. But
yes.
Okay, last one. Number 6, with no Roman numeral tying in, but that is okay.
No.
But that was really cool. I didn't realize it until I was like, oh my gosh, yes.
Well, the E is kind of like a 6.
Okay.
There's some similarity.
Okay, maybe slightly. Maybe. We'll have to think about that. But okay, the final letter here, the 6th, is going to be E for education and also continued growth. Obviously, there's G does not make, you know what I mean. But either way, education, let's just stick it that way. But basically continuous skill building. So one thing I actually appreciate about us is that we are big readers. You and I consistently read books all the time, and it's
might be our teaching backgrounds.
Maybe, yeah. But I've just always really valued constantly continuing to develop my skill and my craft. And I mean, you can go, I mean, obviously we have a YouTube channel here, right, for continued growth. But even if you type into YouTube and you just type in like sales discovery tips or something, you know, there are so many resources out there for you to continue to grow. One of those resources is actually us too. So you can connect with us. I know, shameless plug for us there too.
Talk to us.
But yeah, exactly. I mean, we do things like workshops, coaching sessions, corporate training. Like we do all of these things so we can come in with the knowledge that we've learned over the 10 plus years of sales experience between us and pour it into your teams. And so there are plenty of podcasts that are out there. I could possibly put some in the description, not to name drop. But the point is, you continually fostering education and growth with the team is great. I even know some teams will do like a monthly book club where they will all focus on a single book for a month, and then, or there'll be like the monthly podcast focus. But again, it's just putting it out there with some sort of incentive possibly attached to it to show growth. So
I love that. Yeah. All right, guys, we've talked through 6 points of motive today. This is your motive map for inspiring your team and helping them perform at their best and continue to grow it. So number 1 is that mission alignment, getting into their why and making their why not just theirs, but the team's and something that's talked about in front of them. Number 2, ownership. You got your ownership queen right here.
Yes.
But not playing victim Olympics, knowing that owning your response is what counts and making that a culture thing. Number 3, your transparent feedback and communication, only real talk allowed at all times, that constant touch with your team. Number 4, your incentive, innovations, and inspirations, your I cubed, to again, just keep those even momentary, like you may not have the big why that's always right there, but you can be working on something that's right in front of you. V, your vitality, your vitality. And your well-being. Again, having the healthy hacks to do this lifelong and not just temporarily. Yeah. And then number 6, the E, your education and continual growth. All of these play into it. There's honestly so much more we could dive into. We probably will do future videos also on inspiration. I will say one more pro tip that I can add in. This was not planned at all. I told you I don't like scripts. But put winners in front of your environment.
Oh, yeah.
Put people who have done the hard work. They've locked in the new account. They're just great examples of people who are hungry, want more, who are willing to go for it. And just interview them. Let them talk. That way you're not having to be the one who is like lording over your people. This is what you do. But you're able to just draw out from them, why was it worth it to you? Like, how does it feel having locked these people in? What do you think your next steps are to keep going? There's so many things you can draw from those who are winning that just help you. So
the book, Bringing Out the Best in People, by, is it Ellen Loy McGinnis?
It is.
Is that it? Yeah.
It is.
Great book. And there's one chapter in there that's called The Power of the Success Story. And especially as a leader, like there is going to be that dichotomy where you are above them. Something about it where if a peer comes in and says literally the exact same thing that you have been coaching them on, it's kind of like when, if you're a parent, you've told your child the same thing over and over again, and then one of their friends says the same thing, and they come home and they're like, Mom, Dad, I learned this today. And you're like, we've been telling you that for the last 6 months, you know, but it's the exact same thing.
But
and
it's,
so,
do you care more who's telling them, or do you care
or that
about the result?
the result,
and then
exactly,
getting
they
it?
get it. Yeah, 100%. So,
I think that's what we got.
all right. Well, we have enjoyed sharing with you today. Go ahead and check the description box as well for different resources that we have on our website. They are complimentary to you, so free, so you can download those there. Please also feel free to like and subscribe. We always enjoy doing these videos here for you and helping you continue to grow. It's been great being with you here today, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. See you guys soon.
See you guys.
Bye.